Hello, my friends. All right, some tips because now we're deep into this, and some people have been saying, Joseph, I'm finding myself just getting bored and overeating and just going back to munching on some stuff, and I need some tips on how to stop that. And here's the reality: it's okay to be hungry when your goal is to lose weight. There are going to be times where your body is going to be like, yeah, I want to eat. We're at a deficit. I don't like this. I'm ready for some extra food. Because it's getting used to a new normal. It's getting used to eating less than it was. And that's what needs to happen in order for us to lose weight. So first, I think it's acknowledging that it's okay to be a little hungry. It's part of the journey. And it's going to be just fine. And then the second thing is to come up with some strategies, right? So that we can go in and ultimately take that, knowing it, and use them as a distraction so that we're not just in a mode of reaction. And that's where we usually find ourselves into trouble, right? So the first thing that I recommend more than anything else is to find, if you can, identify when those times are in order to be able to plan your bigger meal near them. So if that's first thing in the morning and you're fine then at night, then we need to try and have a little bit more fuel in the morning. If it's more at night, then we need to leave a little bit of extra calories in the tank for night. And so I want you to identify that piece first. Where is it that is going to help you be most successful to leave a little bit of extra food for it, right? So I've got a buddy who he just loves dessert, and come 10 p.m. at night, that's where it just all hell breaks loose. And so that's where he has a kind of Greek yogurt like dessert concoction with some cocoa powder in there and a teeny bit of maple syrup, and it, to him, all mixed up, tastes like ice cream. And he's able to get away with a 180 to 200 calorie dessert that he banks for, he saves for, that covers him because it's so long after dinner. And these are the things that I want you to be able to start to plan for. And that's the key. Awareness precedes change. Action elicits change. So we need to bring awareness to where this is happening first. Where is it for you? And then create an actionable plan to be able to implement to make this happen. So for me, it's at night, which means I'm going to leave more calories for that aspect. I honestly leave 1,000 calories, even when I'm on my strictest level of calorie deficit, if I'm doing a photo shoot or just doing something that requires me to get really lean, so that I have that from, honestly, that 4 p.m. until end of night time frame. And what I'm going to do then is really focus on these main elements. Step number 1, right? Remember, distraction over reaction. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a very busy schedule for myself. I'm going to have different elements, whether it is going for a walk with my son, so I'm getting out, so I'm being busy, right? Whether it is planning phone calls, whether it is working, whatever needs to happen so that my mind is going. Because if the mind can just think of things and you're bored and you can wander into the kitchen, wander into the pantry, that's where we're going to find ourselves being drawn, and then we just can't handle it anymore. So that's the first thing. Is how can I create a life that allows me to not need or not find the extra time in order to be able to wander for that. And so I challenge you to do that. Maybe there's some great things you can be working on. The second thing is to focus on hydration. When I find myself needing to eat more, a lot of times it's because I'm not hydrated enough. And so I personally drink a green drink. So it's only 25 calories. It's amazing greens powder that I put in there. And I'll drink 16 ounces, usually right around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, if I'm getting home from work a little bit later, 6 o'clock, before dinner, which naturally is going to fill up my stomach. It's going to make me feel fuller even longer. I also drink a carbonated water, like a LaCroix or any type of sparkling water, because the carbonation is going to help me as well. So it's going to take away some of that aspect of feeling hungry, right? Then I focus on the meal itself, which is going to be very protein dense, protein being the most satiating of the macronutrients. And I'm going to start with that. I'm also going to make sure that there's a lot of fiber within it. So either a big side salad, a lot of vegetables, or even it could be a piece of fruit that is more on the fibrous side, such as like an apple or such. And that is also going to help drastically curb the appetite and keep me from wanting to go over. And then the last thing that I will do is I will leave that extra bit of space for what I know will make me feel like the meal is complete, feel like I'm not being restricted from. Now for you, that may be some small level of dessert. It may be you may be more of a savory person. It may be the little bit of cheese that gets to go on that meal. I'm not sure what that is for you, but it's leaving that little bit of room to be a moderator in some regard to be successful, so that a small amount doesn't tip you over and send you flying, but a small amount allows you to maintain some semblance of control. Now, if you find those certain things kick you over, then we need to remove those. You're not ready for those, or you just personally have an addictive personality to those elements, right? So for me, I can have a small piece of brownie or a small piece of cookie if my son and I bake them. I can't do ice cream. I'll eat the whole carton. It doesn't matter if I portion it out and put it away. And so that's what we want to be able to look at, is how can we ultimately use this level of awareness to create distractional tendencies, right? So that we don't find ourselves overindulging beyond. All right. So hopefully that helps. Those are the tips that I definitely go with, right? Make sure your schedule is up and full. Make sure you're hydrated. Find ways to do that. Leave some calories in the tank for that exact time frame that works really well for you. Start with protein first. Get a decent amount of fiber and have something that makes you feel like I completed this and I didn't miss out, right? Hopefully that helps. Yeah, you know what? One more thing. If it is at night, the last thing that I do, honestly, I take my vitamins right after my meal and then I brush my teeth. And brushing my teeth, like, you don't want to eat more after that. So hopefully that little bonus tip helps there. Makes you all that fresh, minty breath. Won't want to eat more. But anyways, Coach Joseph, hope this was helpful. See you guys soon.